him gone. Welcome back to the channel, guys, for another video or another live stream, and it is the post-match show for Newport County 1, Carlisle United 1. I'm absolutely devastated, furious at that performance. First half, unbelievable, going into every tackle, chasing everything down, winning every 50-50. Second half, it just collapses. It just collapses, and no one knows what they're doing in the second half. It's like the manager is trying to get himself sacked. It is getting to this point where it feels like the manager is trying his best to sack himself. Abysmal second half. The second half was absolutely embarrassing from us. Pathetic. I generally don't even know what to say about the second half. We will break the game down in order as the sort of style of the post-match show. It will start with obviously the thoughts of the game. Then I will look at the sort of the stats and the player ratings. Then we'll go into the manager's post-match interview, and then we will get people in. So if you do want to come and have your say on the game, then do stay in the stream. We will be getting you in towards the end of the post-match show, but absolutely smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and also smash the like button if you want James Rowberry sacked. That's the target. Smash the like button if you want Rowberry sacked. I'm gonna get all the likes going up now. Let's get into a few comments first. Give him next game, see how he does. Pressure is on. No, why should we give him the next game? What has he deserved? What has he? No, absolutely not. Our next game is against Leyton Orient. Bear in mind, Leyton Orient have played 10 games, won 9, drew 1, lost 0. And you want to give him that game? Give over. Evening, pal. Sorry I couldn't be there. Don't be sorry, mate. I will get you in this show. I know you said you wanted to come on this, so we'll get you in. Sack him now to avoid getting thumped by Orient. Jeff, think of your blood pressure, fella. I'll be thinking about something else in a minute if this bloody carries on week in, week out. So anyway, first half performance. I thought first half we played very well. I thought we were chasing everything down. I thought we were, going into tackles. We were winning tackles, 50-50s. We were winning. We were getting stuck in. We were really determined to win every single 50-50 ball. Nathan Mariah Welsh's goal was absolutely superb. Ball plays into Nathan Mariah Welsh, dinks it over Thomas Holy. It's a fantastic goal from Nathan Mariah Welsh, and it's great to see him score a goal. Love the play. He's been fantastic for us this season, and it was great to see him score. So that was that one. I was really excited going in from that moment up 1-0 after half an hour, thinking, we can beat these. We can beat these. And from the goal that Nathan Mariah Welsh scored until half time, I thought we were completely in utter control. I think we completely cancelled out Carlisle's attacks going forward. Defensively, we were putting them under heaps of pressure. One ball come over. I can't remember who played the ball over, but a ball come to their left back. I'm not too sure who their left back was. I think it might have been Jack Armour. Ball comes to Jack Armour, and he just puts out a play for a throw-in because there's so much pressure on Omar Bogle, and there's nothing that Jack Armour can do, because if he tries to play it down the pitch, the midfielder's going to get it. If he tries to go back to Thomas Holy, you've got Thierry Neves pressing him, so we forced him to put it out for a throw-in. And the first half, we've done that multiple times. Multiple times we forced Carlisle into a decision. Like in a game, you've got to win a game and to be effective when winning a game is to be able to force your opponent into producing a certain pass, or basically you want to limit the amount of opportunities that the opponent has. You want to limit the amount of decision making they're allowed to make. You want to make it as tough for them as possible. You want to make it as hostile as possible, coming to Rodney Parade. And I thought we'd done that in the first half. I thought in the first half, we played some really nice football. I think Nathan Mariah Welsh, like I said, was excellent. Adam Lewis at left back was good. I thought the midfield was really good in the first half. Hayden Lindley sticking to his position. Scott Bennett was absolutely superb again, I thought, in the first half. And from that first half performance, I was like, yeah, we can beat these. We can beat these. Yes, they're good. They are a good Carlisle side, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying that because Chris is in the chat. They are a good goal. They are a good team, sorry. And they do definitely, offer a lot going forward, and defensively, they're pretty decent. So, going in at halftime, 1-0 up, I thought, right, this is it. This is where we kick on. And second half, I don't know what happened, but we just did not turn up. We didn't turn up whatsoever. I was just bamboozled by the complete disparity of the first half compared to the second half. And again, he has waited until the 70th minute to make a change. This is what I mean. This manager, I don't know if it's down to him, but he just cannot make substitutions quickly. He's waited until the 70th minute to bring on James Waite. Now, we'll get into this because this is obviously part of the second half, but the whole game was physical. It was a physical game. It was two sides going toe-to-toe, battling for everything, challenging, 50-50 challenges. And it was manic. It was absolutely manic. They were all going in. Tackles were flying in. And it was a really physical and feisty game. And he brings on James Waite. Now, I can see why he's brought on James Waite, for a bit of fresh legs in the midfield, just to add something different. But when it's a physical game, the worst thing you can do is bring on someone who's not physical, because it completely and utterly makes you naive to the fact that thinking you can do that, and also the fact that he has done that, it also gives Carlisle the upper edge. It allows them to sort of close in on us, and us not being able to get out of that sort of gegenpress. They win the ball back, they get up the pitch, and that's what they done in the second half. They won the ball up against us by knocking James Waite off the ball, or by knocking Hayden Lindley off the ball. Then they progressed it quickly, moved it into the through the phases, and got to closer to our goal. Right, their goal. Oh my God. I mean, look, I don't care what no one says. It's never a corner, first of all. I don't think it's ever a corner. It comes off. I can't remember who it come off. It might have been Callum Guy. Was it Callum Guy? Yeah, I think it might have been Callum Guy it come off. So it was never a corner, right? This is what really annoys me. It was never a corner. So that should never have happened. But instead of whinging about it being a corner when it shouldn't have been, the marking in the you shouldn't be. I don't know what was going on in the box. Let's just say I don't know what was going on in the box. I don't know who was marking who. I don't know who was meant to be picking up who. It was really just pathetic defending from that corner. Like I said, I will 100% stick by the side that it was never a corner. I'll hold my hands up, it wasn't a corner. But the fact that it got given, we should have just been, right, it's been given, come on, let's go on and defend this. But we didn't. We were too sulking that it was given as a corner. Like, I think it was only Demetrio and Clark were in the vicinity of Corey Whelan. And they were just sulking. They were just sulking that they didn't get the goal kick when it should have been, and they just completely dropped off in that moment. They score a goal, and to be fair, when Carlisle scored, they should have made it. They should have won the game. They should have won the game at the end. Christian Dennis hit the bar, I think it was. They had chances to get something from it, and I think that result has saved him. I think that result has saved James Rowberry, because they're not going to look at it as a 90-minute performance, as first half excellent, drop off, second half awful. They're going to look at it as, look, we've got a point against a good Carlisle side. That's how they're going to look at it. And let's take a few comments before we go into player ratings and stuff like that. I'll give final thoughts on that game as well in a second. Game of two half. Soft, sloppy goal to concede from us, but good goal for you. The goal we scored was very good. Ball into Nathan Morrow-Welsh, and he just dinks it over Thomas Holy. I felt some Newport players in the second half couldn't be asked. I was watching on iFollow. I'm watching some of them walking while we were on attack. Yeah. Need to improve. You shouldn't be capitulating like that. Even the commentator watching the game on Soccer Saturday was talking how Newport about Newport's capitulation, kind of like Leicester against Spurs. Never a corner, in my opinion, but it was a goal we deserved from our point of view. You did deserve it. You probably deserved to win the game, Chris. That's what I'm trying to say. You probably deserved to win the game. Christian Dennis had a chance. You had another chance, which I can't remember. Someone put it wide from a corner. Sometimes when players are lacking confidence, they look like they're not trying. That is a fair point, to be fair, Jeff. Sometimes it can look like they're not trying when realistically they probably are, but because of the way that as different people interpret it, it looks like they're not trying. Chris says, agreed, that result saved Rowbury, unfortunately for you. Only for one game, though. Only for one game. Look, I would have sacked him after Barrow, to be fair, but, he's in a job, so, at the moment, we've just got to, as stupid as it sounds, we've got to back him, because he is the manager. If we boo every single game, then it's not going to, the players are going to get annoyed, and you know what the happy clappers are like. They're going to start saying, "Oh, you're not supporting then if you're booing." Fucking idiots they are, by the way. I think Carlisle would have beat Newport. Came today if Mary Patrick was playing. It's difficult to say, isn't it? Because he wasn't playing, so we'll never know. We'll never know. I don't know why it's fucking sunny in Newport. Jesus Christ, fucking sun's coming through. Maybe that is a sign. Maybe that's a sign that the sun's coming through. That Rowbury's going to get sacked. Light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know what I'm on about. Evening, mate. Big up, Luke. Thanks for tuning in. And we were very shit in that second half. And he says Rowbury out there. So final thoughts on that game then. Like I said, please absolutely smash the like button. We're on 9 likes at the moment, and there's 11 of you in here. If you've not liked this stream already, go down below, smash a like on it, and please make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Getting for 20 likes on this post-match show, so please make sure to do that. So final thoughts. I would say the substitutes changed the game. James Waite coming on made us weaker, and Sonny Hilton coming on for Carlisle strengthened them. So I think the substitutions have changed that game personally. I think at times you can see what we're trying to do. That's the irritating thing. There is times in the game where you can clearly see what the manager is trying to do. Whether he can't do it or whether he's not tactically inept to do it, I'm not too sure. I don't know what the issue is there, but all I know is he set out a plan. It's fucking dark in here, isn't it? He set out a plan, and for whatever reason that may be, he couldn't stick to that plan. Whatever that reason is, I think it's because he's tactically not good enough, and I just don't think he can deal with, the way the way our players are fit to play. I just don't think the problem is I don't think the manager's tactics and what these players are best suitable for match. I think that's where we're crossing over. The manager wants to play a sort of 4-3-3 counter-pressing style where our squad is so used to 5-3-2, the wing-backs getting in behind, midfielders supporting across the three, the two strikers, one as a quick striker, one as a tall striker to flip the ball on. That's our style of play due to the players that we've got. But the manager wants to play something different when we haven't got the players to do it. I think that's what's starting to go wrong. And for me, like I said, I'd want him gone. But, people do have their own opinions. Another thing that really, really struck me was the Omar Bogle situation. Omar Bogle gets taken off in injury time. And, I mean, the fact that, he got taken off for Chankazimba by James Rowbury. Omar Bogle comes over to Rowbury and is fuming, absolutely fuming. I'm presuming he said some swear words in there. Presuming he said F off or, wrong change, gaffer, something like that. Because Omar Bogle could have been very, very usable in that last 5 minutes when he came off. So, that's another one. The players falling out with a manager. This is I just don't think this can last any longer. I just don't think this distancing between the fans and the players and the players and the manager, I just don't think this can continue much longer. I don't think the manager can consistently have sort of fallen into out with the players, because as soon as you start losing the dressing room, that's when you're ultimately judged as a manager. And I just don't think the substitution of Omar Bogle worked. Don't think the substitution of James Waite worked. They both just completely were pointless subs in making. I mean, and then he brings Robbie Wilmot on for obviously the last second. That obviously was because Hayden Lindley got injured, but Hilton changed the game for us. Paul's in the chat. Hi, Mike. Problems galore. It does get better. I don't think it does at the moment with this manager. I don't think this manager is good enough to sort this out. He should have kept Omar on. Zimba come on and gave the ball away. Waite is wank. Get him out of the club too, along with Raybury. Yeah, James Waite. We need to talk about James Waite. Oh, I'm sorry, but I just don't think he's good enough. I don't think James Waite is good enough. I love the guy as a person. I just don't think he's good enough for this league. He's so lightweight. Pardon the pun. He's so, flimsy on the ball. And I don't know. I had dollar signs when Bogle came off. Yeah, not surprising. I hope we get a decent manager, because I can't see James Raybury lasting much longer at Newport County. Well, that draw has probably given him an extra 2 games. Because if you think about it, I was saying to someone leaving the ground, right? If you go and give him the Leyton Orient game and we get beat, what can you say? Because Leyton Orient have played 10 games, won 9, drew 1, lost 0, unbeaten all season in the league. So you can't go there and say to James Raybury, "Oh, go and get a result for us at Leyton Orient." So it's basically he's got to have the Rochdale game the week after as well, because there's no point giving him the. Basically, I feel sorry for James Raybury if this happens. If they give him the Leyton Orient game, he loses that and then they sack him. I feel sorry for him there. I'll be completely honest. I'd feel sorry for him, because you're now expecting a manager to go to Leyton Orient, who are absolutely insane, and go and get a result. So I would actually say keep him for the Leyton Orient game. Let him have the Leyton Orient game. Let him have the Rochdale game. Because you cannot, or basically, if you're going to keep him, you've got to keep him for Leyton Orient and Rochdale. If you're going to get rid of him, it's got to be now. It's got to be before the Leyton Orient game, because I just don't think they're basically putting him out to dry if they give him the Leyton Orient game. Because what does he expect to do at Orient? It's away from home. They're an unbelievable footballing side. And I just don't expect him to go there and really do anything. Bloody hell, I need a drink. This is tiring. This is watching Newport every week. A nice energy drink. I fucking need it supporting Newport County. I'll tell you that for free. NCFC says, worst possible result for us now. Raybury stays and points are dropped. The club is fucked. I told you last week, people. I literally told you last week, or whenever I done that. No, 2 weeks ago. I said that this is going to continue. This is going to continue. Or was it last week? I can't even remember. Didn't Omar Bogle used to play in the Championship, or am I thinking of? No, he did, Jeff. Omar Bogle did play in the Championship for Cardiff and Wigan, I believe. He did play in the Championship, yeah. Take Paul's comment and then we'll go into player ratings. I think County should at least have a home crowd. I think County should at least have a home crowd behind one of the goals. There you'll have the 12th man spirit. Look, I completely get your point, Paul. Completely get your point. Getting more fans behind the players. But why? When the players offer fucking nothing in return. This is what I'm trying to say. It's all right saying get behind the boys. Let's support them through thick and thin, win, lose or draw. But they don't show nothing. They fight for 45 minutes and then they give up. This is what I'm saying. 45 minutes, we could be superb. Second half, we fall off a cliff and we're absolutely embarrassing to watch. So there's no There's nothing about the fans. We're excellent. The fans are excellent. Big up to every single one that went today, because there's a lot that didn't, and there's a lot that will continue not to go until this is sorted. We were literally chanting, we had a shot, because we're bloody desperate to have shots these days. Never mind fucking win games. We're desperate to have a shot. We are in a mess. We are in a fucking right mess. And you're telling me to get behind them? Fucking give over, man. No. Get this manager gone, and then I'll get behind them. Because I think the players are starting to lose faith with him anyway. People say keep the faith, but that doesn't fucking work. That doesn't fucking work. Our players are picking and choosing when to... Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Luke. Sean can piss off again. You can piss off, Sean. I can't be arsed with it, mate. Yes. 100% agree, Luke. I told you. For 45 minutes, brilliant. The better team dominated the play, cancelled Carlisle United out, half-time strikes, and bang. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely abysmal. Everything that we've seen for the last 3 weeks, we saw in that second half. But it was covered up by an excellent first half. You take that first half away, we've lost that 2 or 3-0. If we played in the second half like we did if we played in the first half like we did in the second half, we would have lost that 2-3-0. And we would be talking about potentially him going tonight. So, I mean, I keep refreshing Twitter just in case he does get sacked. But, I mean, I don't expect it to happen. I'm looking again, and there's nothing from Newport County's Twitter. Nothing on that. So, I keep refreshing it, just hoping that they'll say James Rowberry has been sacked by Manchester United, by Newport County. No, I like Bogle. I do like Bogle. Right, let's get into some of the stats during the game, and we'll look at the player ratings. No, I think he likes James Waite because he's a flair type of player, and I just don't think. To be fair, I don't think Rowberry's judgment on players is that good at all. Right, let me know if you can see this on screen. Right, you can. Okay, that's good. Right, so let's go on a few of the stats before we look at the player ratings. So in terms of the stats, again, 58% possession for 50% possession for 58% possession for them, 42% for us. 10 shots compared to 2, 3 to 2. But why is it not? I think it's glitching because we had more possession than them in the first half. Fouls again, equal game. How we got 3 bookings, I don't know. Thierry Neves literally just grabbed the tip of Sonny Hilton's shirt and he got booked. I mean, give over. Big chances. Our big chance was the one that we really should have scored. And again, outpassed by another team. Look, I wouldn't be too annoyed about getting outpassed by someone, but when the manager's philosophy is to pass the football, keep the ball moving quickly, and we're getting outpassed by teams, 59% of our passes are accurate. How many times am I going to look at games and look at results and look at these stats? 33% of our long balls accurate. 23% of our crosses accurate. 56% of all the type of things that we're used to at Newport. Long balls into the box, crosses into the box. And we can barely get 60% possession between the two of them in terms of accurate. Possession lost, again, 174 times. The manager's philosophy is keeping the ball, not losing the ball, passing it well, getting into the box. And we're doing all of the things that his philosophy says wrong. Again, it's not overreacting anymore. This is getting annoying. I don't want to be doing this. I want to, and tackles 11-10. I want to come on a post-match show And I want to be happy. I want to be like, oh my God, what a performance. Fair play to the lads. I really want to be that. I don't like doing this. I love this football club. I adore this football club. I don't want to be having a go at them. I don't want to keep going on and going bad and saying this, that, and the other about them. I really don't. I want to be on here after a match and think, yes, I want to get home. I want to do the post-match show and I want to give these players the credit they deserve. But I just can't do it at the moment. I just can't do it. And that's what's more upsetting. That I'm basically having to pull every single flaw that's wrong with the team at the moment. Don't worry, I will be putting the link in towards the end, guys, so you can have your say towards the end. Sign Lewis grabbing, he'll get you goals, but in reality, can't see him dropping down to League Two. Mate, we'll be in the fucking conference next season. Yes, Mike, I totally agree with what you say. Oh, I totally agree, say what you say. Redbridge Conference is up on YouTube, mate. Yeah, I will be putting that on very, very shortly, Reese. I'm going to do the player ratings, then I'm going to do James Redbridge's press conference reaction, and then I will be getting people in. So if you do want to come in, Reese, I know you're a Swansea fan, or Chris is definitely coming in, but Luke will be in as well. Luke will be a bit of a regular on the channel now, so yeah, you can come in and have your say very shortly. I had to listen to Newport commentators while watching the game on Alpha. They were stating the obvious throughout the whole game, sounding like Michael Owen in commentary. And as NCFC says, yeah, the I follow Newport commentary is crap. Calls Mickey Demetriou. Yeah. I'm the same, Mike. I love the club, but performances need to be called out. It's the individual errors which cost the game. Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. I love these players. They play for my football club. The manager, he represents my football club on a professional basis. I don't have an agenda against James Redbridge. 100%. I just want what's best for this club. If James Redbridge is performing, and if the players are performing, then that means Newport are performing. That means Newport are doing well. Newport are being successful. That's all I want. That is all I want, is this football club to get back to where it was 3-4 seasons ago. Challenging for the playoffs. Being one of the most attacking footballing teams in the league. The season the season that we had Scott Twine, Brandon Cooper, players like that, Sheehan. We were probably one of the most exciting teams to watch. Scott Twine could hit one from 30 yards. He could play a ball over the top into the strikers. We were unbelievably exciting to watch. And now we're just boring to watch. We just don't do nothing. Happy to be here, Mike, mate. Right, let's get into some player ratings, because these players need fucking calling out. Some of them really need calling out. I don't care what people say anymore. This is a fan channel, basically. If you're not happy with it, then fuck off. It's as simple as that. I don't care. I'll say my opinion. I'm literally going to be giving you a chance to say your opinion. So if you don't agree with me, then join the stream later when I open up the lines, and then you can give your opinion. By the way, look at the table, man. Geez, 2 wins out of 10. 3 points above the drop again. Fucking hell, man. We are in a mess. Only Hartlepool is still. Oh, see, we're one of the most losers. We've barely win games. Scored 10 goals averaging 1 goal a game. That's it. I know Gillingham have only scored 2 goals all season, which is laughable in itself, but it is what it is, I guess. Right, player ratings. This will be fucking very, very interesting. Nick Townsend. Now, thought Nick Townsend played decent. Get your player ratings in the chat as well, guys, if you want to. Get your player ratings in the chat. Do let me know which player, though, of course. Don't just say 657, 657, because I'm not going to know who you're on about. So if you did watch the game, or if you managed to hear the game or anything like that, or you was at the game, let me know your player ratings in the chat as well. That'll be much appreciated. So Nick Townsend, couple of good saves. I think it's bloody refreshed. Hang on a second. So Nick Townsend, I thought he played well. I thought he ushered his goal well. I think he managed to come for crosses. And to be fair, I think he had an average game. He was coming for crosses, which I was loving. The ball was coming in. Nick Townsend was coming for the crosses, whether it was in the air, whether it was a ball across the box, and he was coming out for it. Distribution, again, is very questionable, but we know what Nick Townsend is. So there's no point coming on here and saying distribution pathetic, because we know what his distribution is like. So, I'd probably go 6 for Nick Townsend, average 6. Now, I'm going to disagree with NCFC on this one. I think Adam Lewis was very, very good. I think he was good. Down that left-hand side, he caused them problems. Up against Finback, he was really at them. And I thought at times, he was excellent. Going down that left-hand side, causing Carlisle problems down their right-hand side of Finback and Paul Huntington. I thought he really did possess something in that final third. I'm going to give him a 6.5. 6.5 for... No, I'm going to give him a 7 because I'm going to round it up. I'm not going to do 0.5. So I'm going to give Adam Lewis a 7, but not my man of the match. He's close up there, but not my man of the match. So a 7 for Adam Lewis. Mickey Demetrio, 7. Man of the match. Absolutely superb. Captain, leader, everything. He does everything right. Leader, captain, unbelievable centre-half. Mickey Demetrio gets a 7 and the man of the match rating for me. Again, just doesn't let you down. Doesn't let you down at all. Mr. Reliable, Mr. Consistent. Will constantly give his all for the football club. He will literally die on that football pitch for this football club. And I love Mickey Demetrio for that. So 7 for him, man of the match. Alan says 6. Let me know who you're giving the ratings for as well, chat. So I know exactly who you're on about. James Clark, 6. Just again, didn't think he offered. He was average. James Clark done a couple of interceptions. He was trying to push forward a little bit. So I'd probably give Clark a 6. Norman again 6. Same thing. He gets forward, Cameron Norman. But one thing I will say, which totally rules out Cameron Norman ever having good games at the moment, is the midfield in front of him are not as defensive minded. You got Hayden Lindley, Nathan Mariah-Welsh who were trying to go forward. Scott Bennett was being sort of left by himself, and Adam Lewis was bombing on, down the left. So it made Cameron Norman's job harder to, stay and play in that position. So I'd give Cameron Norman a 6. Let's have a look at a few comments. Big up Chris from Leicester Till I Die. Please. Thanks for tuning in. I will be reviewing the manager's post-match interview. We're going to be opening up the line. So, if you could drop a like and subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thanks to Chris for tuning in. Hope you're well, Chris. Right, Luke has gone. Townsend 5, Lewis 7, Mickey 8, Clark 7, Norman 6, Lindley 7, Neves 8. He was class until he was subbed off. Nathan Mariah-Welsh 8. He was fantastic. Bogle 6, Will Evans, Bennett 5. Right, let's go back into the player ratings. Hayden Lindley, I don't know. I'd actually go 6 for Lindley. Average again. Got injured at the end, but that was basically an added time. I'd go 6 for Hayden Lindley. There's times where you're like, so risky on the ball, but as an overall game, I think the good things that he'd done overwhelmed the bad things that he'd done. Scott Bennett, didn't mean to do that. Scott Bennett, 7, again, unbelievable. Gets stuck in, chases everything, tracks people back, will win the ball, will drive with the ball, will not be will not be ashamed to get a yellow card, and he got a yellow card today, and that was by losing the ball, chasing back, getting it back, getting stuck in. That's what Scott Bennett is. 7 for me for Scott Bennett. Nathan Mariah-Welsh, 7. No, this may seem harsh, but I don't think Nathan Mariah-Welsh done much apart from the goal. Now, I know we love him. You know, he's a very fantastic player, and he really is starting to blossom into a fantastic midfielder. But I just don't think he offered much apart from the goal. I think the goal sort of give him a better rating than ideally what it was as a 90-minute game. As a 90-minute game, it was not more than a 7. You know, it could have been a 6. But that goal, just to set us on our way, and that first 30 minutes, that bumps it up to a 7 for me, for Nathan Mariah-Welsh. Will Evans, 5 for me. Abysmal. I just don't see what he offers. You know, he's got the flair, he's got the trickery, but look, you can be flary, you can be trickery, but if you've not got the football intelligence or the football brain to, you know, cancel out the odd time you may lose the ball, then you're not going to be a good footballer. Because yes, it's all right to take players on, put, you know, a nutmeg or, you know, something like that to get the crowd going. But if you do that 4 times a game and 2 of them come off and the other 2 don't, you need something else to offer in the game that allows you to sustain a better rating. And I just don't think he has a football IQ as the likes of Mariah-Welsh, Hayden Lindley, Scott Bennett. I just think that's what Will Evans lacks. Thierry Nevers, again, so direct. I loved him on the left-hand side. You know, he's been playing in a front 2 with Omar Bogle, but on the left today was great. A 7 out of 10 for me for Thierry Nevers. He just drives at you, he runs at you, and he really wants to, you know, get into that final third, make something happen. We saw on Tuesday night, driving at Forest Green, pushing Forest Green back. And he's done that again tonight, pushing Carlisle United back to the point where they had to keep retreating. And that was excellent for me for Thierry Nevers. 7 out of 10 for Thierry. Omar Bogle, 6. I feel sorry for Omar. I really feel sorry for Omar. You know, he's the type of striker we've got to play to him. You know, he does a bit of, you know, magic on his own. He receives the ball, brings it down, brings others into play. But sometimes you need more than that. You know, sometimes you need something extra. You need to add that extra little bit of creativity in the midfield. You know, and when you've got Omar Bogle up front, you need someone to play it into him. You need someone to, you know, push the ball onto him rather than just lumping the ball forward and hoping that he does something. Because he's not the type of striker who's just going to lump the ball towards, flick on, Nevers in behind. He's the type of striker, is weird. You know, he's a physical striker, but he likes the ball to feet. He likes the ball into his feet so he can, you know, have his head on a swivel and turn, make things happen. That's what he wants. And again, not good enough, I don't think, in the final third. Before Nevers, I said Will Evans was a 5. I just give Nevers a 7 and Bogle a 6. Moving on to the substitutes. First substitute, James Waite. Now, I do feel sorry for James Waite. I think he's being, you know, played when realistically I don't think he's good enough. You know, I may get slaughtered for that, but I just don't think he's good enough. Just don't think he's League 2 level, and I think we saw that today. Come on, in a situation where the game was physical, and James Waite is not physical whatsoever, and it just completely and utterly ruined the game for us. Is that James Waite's fault? No. Could he have done a lot better? Yes. And I just think at times we needed something extra from James Waite. We just didn't get it. I'd give him a 5. Chan Kazimba and Robbie Wilmot, I'm just going to give an average 6 for both of them. I mean, what? Zimba was on the pitch for 3 minutes. Robbie Wilmot was on the pitch for 30 seconds. You know, there's nothing there you can judge off that. It really isn't. You can't judge a performance off 3 minutes or 30 seconds. I'd say there's nothing you can judge that off, to be fair. Manager, James Rowbury. Now, like I said, I'm never going to have an agenda. Never going to have an agenda. But one thing I will say is that a lot of people are just going to say, James Rowbury, 2 out of 10, pathetic, awful. Big up to Connor, by the way. Thanks for tuning in, Connor. A lot of people will say pathetic James Rowberry, 1 out of 10. But I actually didn't think, if you break it down, you've got different parts to a manager from a game. You've got the team selection, you've got the tactics, and you've got the substitutions. That's what ultimately are the three main things for a manager during the game. Team selection, I think he got it near on what I wanted to see. Been crying out for a 4-3-3, been crying out for Thierry Neves on the left and Will Evans on the right. Did it really work? No, but is that the manager's fault? No. That's probably Will Evans' fault for not being, sticking to his position and not being a competent right winger at the moment. That can be developed. Things like that can be developed. So team selection I liked. Tactics, again, first half I liked. Make sure Carlisle make as much errors as we forced them into. So, that was the tactic that we had. Let's frustrate Carlisle. Let's put Carlisle under pressure. Let's annoy them. Because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to annoy Carlisle. We wanted to frustrate them. And we wanted to put them under pressure, which we did first half. Second half, embarrassing. But, that's what the tactic was. And substitutions let it down. So, team selection I liked. Tactics was average. And substitutions were poor. So I'd probably say like a 5 out of 10, which is not bad. A lot of people will say, 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10. But realistically, let's be honest. Was it really a 1 out of 10 from the manager? Was it a 2 out of 10 from the manager? No. Let's call a spade a spade. The manager realistically wasn't on that pitch in the second half to determine that game. I think the players' heads were dropped. And why that was, I'm not too sure. Right, let me get the press conference or the post-match reaction from James Rowberry. This is going to be fucking interesting, isn't it? So grab all of your popcorn because this is going to be very interesting. Right, let me. I'm going to have to get the press conference up or the post-match interview up first before we can actually get it on screen. Right, so it's a 7-minute one, 7 minute long one this time. Seven minutes long. We'll probably drop that. Right, so we'll get the press conference or post-match reaction on now. Connor says, why we drop back second half at 1-0, then there was no atmosphere. Yeah, look, when you're 1-0 up in a game, look, everyone's here for the press conference. See, this is what I mean. This is where you can tell if a manager's lost it for me in the post-match interview. So let me put that on full screen. Right. This is going to be fun. Let's get on with this then.
James, ultimately, is there a sense of disappointment having taken the lead in that game?
Yeah, there's a disappointing change room in there. To concede the goal from set play, a bit disappointed. Probably didn't impose the game plan second half that we did first half. Didn't compose ourselves enough with the ball. But on the flip side of it, we've got a point, and we've stopped those 3 league losses in a row.
Again, I think there's nothing you can say what he's saying there. We've stopped the 3 home defeats. I guess people could make an argument to say, oh my God, he's trying to find a positive in anything. But as a manager, you've got to do that. If you come out and just say, yeah, we were, it's another disappointing result, pathetic, players were embarrassing, you're just going to put the morale down and just damper the players. So, as much as I don't think he's good enough, I agree with his point there. Second half, dropped off, and, at least it's a point, not a loss. Even in time, he says, look, it looked really good first half. Second half, we just fell off a cliff. Yeah, agreed. Right, let's carry on.
If you like, and we can build. We need to, we can, and we will build upon this now. And and the aim is to give our fans something to shout about.
Yeah, that's the positive thing from this. And Mariah Welsh's finish was an excellent one too.
I missed something there. We'll go for that.
We need to, we can, we will build upon this now, and the aim is to give our fans something to shout about.
Yeah.
Why is he saying this now? The aim is to give the fans something to shout about. Surely we should have done that previously, but I don't know.
That's the positive thing from this. And Mariah Welsh's finish was an excellent one too. The main positive, I guess, from that first half.
Yeah, we've been practicing with that with him. He's been practicing it, and I thought first half we stuck to the game plan that we wanted to do. Not so much second half. And
again, stuck to the game plan first half, second half. Well, what was the plan second half? I'm not too sure, to be honest, but whatever it was, didn't work, fortunately.
And it's always difficult when we've had the runs of defeats that we've had, and then we get a little bit nervous, and that happens. But what we've done, we've stuck at it, we kept going and going and going, and ultimately we come away from a point.
Yeah, is there a feeling that the results will come? Because is there a sense that the results haven't been matching the performances that you've been putting in?
Yeah, I think so. One thing.
You know what? I agree. I think the performances that we've been putting in some of the games, performances that we've put in hasn't matched the result. I look back at Salford, thought maybe we deserved something from the game. I thought maybe Walsall potentially could have deserved something from the game. So I agree with him there. Some results this season have not been a true reflection of the performance.
One thing we've shown today and this week is how resilient the group is, how resilient this football club is. And like I said, I've learned a lot about the players, the club, the supporters and everybody on my staff, and that's important. And now what we've got to do is move forward and build upon this now and keep going.
Defensively, you did so well, I thought, in the first half. So that's such a shame, isn't it, to concede in that way in the second?
Yeah, we're disappointed. We're disappointed with it, but we've got to learn from it, and we've got to move forward. And now we go on to the next game and in a positive manner.
And it doesn't get any easier because Leyton Orient's going really well at the moment, top of the table.
Yeah, they are. We just got to give our all. We just got to give our all, and it's the thing at Newport. Sometimes when we're back against the wall, we come well from it. So we'll do that, and we've got to give our fans something to be proud of, and we'll do our best to do that at Leyton Orient.
James, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Again, questions or answers from the media that you're expecting from a manager, especially when you're going into a game against Leyton Orient, who are going as well as they are. You know, basically just saying we've just got to go there and just impose our style of play onto them. What our style of play is, I have no fucking idea, but you know, whatever style that is, just got to do that on Saturday against a very good Leyton Orient side. Let's continue.
The second half, what was it that sort of went against the plan? What do you mean?
In the first half, we recognised when to play behind and penetrate, and we recognised when to build. And I think sometimes second half we just went to penetrate too early. And I felt as though we just needed to have that little bit of the taking the ball, recognising when to take the ball and play, and then create chances off the back of it. That was probably my biggest thing second half.
I guess the situation meant maybe getting a bit deep just before that goal. Sort of, it's natural, isn't it? After an element of anxiety.
Yeah, it does, and that happens. And we're in this.
I don't know about that. I think we did drop back. Like our starting position, 5-10 minutes into the game, the centre backs were high up the pitch. The wing backs were expansive going forward, and we were 5-10 yards further forward when we were in the attack, and then only dropped slightly back in the defence. Second half, our centre backs were basically holding hands with Nick Townsend, but
we're in this division, we're learning, we're going to get better at it, and it's something that we recognise as a group, but we still got to try and squeeze the line and get a bit more pressure on the pitch. We know that.
Do you enjoy the occasion in a bizarre way? It was a pressure game.
Yeah, I think, like I said, every game for me is a pressure game. It's since, I don't know how many games I've had now, 49, 50 games as a manager. I learn every day. Everyone's a pressure for me. It's not just this one, but we've got to build on this now and take the positives. And like our first half display, we want to demonstrate that with the lads, but we still got entries into their box second half, whether it's from a set play, whether it's from crosses. So we got to build on it.
You didn't get the...
Yeah, 100% agree. First half performance is what we want to see. It's what we want to see Newport County play. Getting the ball into the box, creating opportunities, creating chances. And ultimately, if we're in their box 60% of the game, you'll win the game. Because peppering their goal, constantly having attack after attack after attack, wave after wave after wave, you will ultimately break their defence. It's just it's just something that will obviously happen.
The Raw you wanted at full time, but nonetheless a sort of contented reaction. What were the fans like for you?
Yeah, well, they were brilliant when we came out, and I understand the frustrations. That's normal. That's normal any football club, and I probably feel it a little bit more because I'm from the town and I'm a supporter myself. But we're giving our all and we're giving our best, and I have no doubt that we'll start getting the run of results that we need. And we
look. I know you've got to say this as a manager, and I don't want to get slated for saying this, right? But coming out and saying I'm a fan of the club, I feel it just as much as you do. Well, why don't you try more? Do something extra then. Try a bit harder. There's no point saying, I feel it as well, blah, blah, blah. I feel the pain. Do something then. Do something more on the training ground. Tell the players to fight for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit overreactive, but yeah.
And we want.
Just on those young lads, a lot of young loanees in there. Is there an element of be patient with them? Because especially a lot of them, it's the first loan spell. Maybe Finn last year was second loan spell. Probably helped him settle quickly. So yeah. Do you think we'll start to see more and more from them?
I have no doubt, and I think you look at it. I came in the middle of October. Finn, Ollie hadn't played many games, but they've been around the group for a long time, and they developed in that period by training with the group and playing with the group. I think now these loan lads are getting a lot more game time with that, and it can only help them later on down the line. But also, let's not just talk about the loan lads, let's talk about how well the permanent signings have done today as well. And that pleased me, and everybody in that group, in that change room, staff, players in the club, we'll stick together and we'll keep driving forward.
Yeah, I love that answer. Do you know what? I've slated the guy, but I fucking love that answer from James Rowberry. The interviewer says about loan signings, does it help them getting game time to progress their career and develop them and allow them to integrate into the system? And James Rowberry says, yes, the loan players are good. However, I'm also impressed with my permanent signings. Great answer there from the manager. Basically cancelling out talking about loan signings, and he's more interested in talking about the permanent Newport County players who will be here next season, who are under contract for us for next season. Great from James Rowberry there. Fair play to him.
Matty presumably just touching go, but it's nothing too soon.
Yeah, he's an ankle sprain, so we'll have to reassess that one next week.
Lindley, I think that was Lindley. I think he just said Lindley has an ankle sprain, ankle strain. Let me just play that back.
Driving forward.
Matty presumably just touching go, but it's nothing too soon.
Yeah, he's an ankle sprain, so we'll have to reassess that one next week. Priestley wasn't right to play.
Oh, Matty, I think he said. I think Matty Dolan.
So they were two injuries, if you like.
Yeah, so Matty Dolan and Priestley Farquharson are the two that were out for this game. Newport fans could probably say thank God, but
you didn't use your bench much till 90. Was that just? I mean, you were on about using 5 subs all the time pre-season, but isn't it?
But I know, and sometimes in the moment you don't always do it. And
do you know what? He's called him out, and I will call this out as well. The interviewer says, leaving subs till the 90th minute. You said in pre-season you want to be making the 5 subs. What a hypocrite, James Rowberry. In pre-season, stated, I will try to make 5 substitutes in every game. He made 1 in the 70th minute and 2 in added time. Absolute hypocrite.
And recognising that, but I thought Will Evans' energy to do what he did today was phenomenal. To play off the back of Tuesday and to do that again today just shows the character of the lad, and same with the rest of the group as well. I'm really pleased with the point, but want more from that. Wanted the 3 points today. Wanted 3 points on first half display.
Did he just say he wanted the 3 points? What a stupid answer. Everyone wants the 3 points. What is wrong with some of these answers from the bloody manager?
I think we deserved it, and we just need to stick to our game plan second half.
Scoring that first goal definitely helps, doesn't it? Gives you a kickstart.
Yeah, it does. And we said about having a fast start with tackles, races, duels, and I felt as though we had that, and we just needed to. It's difficult at times off the run we've had to keep that going in the second period, but still, it's a point game now, and that's why I said we got to look at it in a positive format.
Yeah. Hayden he had that disappointment last week. Bounced back well today. Played really well.
Yeah, he did, and he misplaced a couple of passes first half, which happens. But then he built himself back into the game, which was pleasing.
Hayden Lindley, massive shout out to Hayden Lindley. First half, I said get him off. He is embarrassingly bad. Balls just putting out off the pitch and misplaced passes. Second half, you could see exactly what they must have said to him at halftime. He just looked I don't know if it's possible, but he came out of the second half and he just looked more mature. He looked more like with his chest out, and he looked like he was just so happy to be on the pitch, and he just looked so much better in the second half. That's testament to the coaching. Big up to Ryan, Huddersfield Town Fan TV, says, hi, Mike. Big up to your goddamn self, Ryan. Hopefully you are well, mate. Tom says Lindley has his moments. See, I don't agree with managers when managers say that. Of course, they really care and support the club themselves, but they're improving the players constantly, giving them constant praise, and would be on the pitch diving for them. I'm glad James Clark is okay, by the way, after he was on the ground for a few minutes after the ball being hit. Yeah, he just got straight up and got on with it. He done that in pre-season, I think. He got whacked in, or a previous game, he got elbowed, was on the pitch for like 4.5 minutes, and then just got up and then won a header like 2 minutes after that previously, leading on from that. James Clark is a tough cookie. He's an old-style centre-back, I think. Right, I've only got a couple of minutes left, so I'll only pause it if I need to for the rest of the interview.
Decent for him, and he's got a strong mentality. He's captain of Villa 23s. He's got that mentality, and he's just got to keep building on that and building on that. And then we know for us that we can keep getting better and better and better, and that's the light for us there.
You took Thierry off.
Let me just sort something in the chat, guys.
Was that an injury? Or?
Well, he was on a booking. And I think we have to be conscious of that. And with his energy, we just need, bearing in mind, he's coming late. It's his first time in a first-team environment that he's done. It's his first loan. So we need to be mindful of that. You can see when they took Gibson off because he was on a yellow card, then he's fouled Adam Lewis, where potentially that could be...
Yeah, I agree. Thierry Neves was on a yellow. He was starting to get a bit lackadaisical. And he's mentioned about Paul Simpson taking off Jordan Gibson on a yellow card when probably should have got sent off Jordan Gibson for that foul on Adam Lewis, which Rowbury touches on. So, yeah, that one, the substitution for Neves was something that he had to do.
A red card there, but I'm not going to debate that. But that's where we just want to be conscious with Thierry that we needed 11 men on the pitch.
This team started to gel now, isn't it?
I believe so, Luke. I believe so. We need to keep pushing forward and practicing the things in training, and also enjoying it. I think we've got to enjoy it, and I think...
Look, I disagree. He says that the team has started to gel, and he goes, yes, Luke, they are. You've just taken Omar Bogle off, and he's literally arguing with you on the touchline. So I'm not too sure.
That's the thing, and we'll speak on later on in the week as a group, and we'll, in those moments when we're 1-0 up, we've got to enjoy it as well. We've got to enjoy it, and sometimes...
Why have you got to enjoy being 1-0 up? You've got to be professional when you're 1-0 up. Hold the game. Keep the game at 1-0. Rather than doing things that are going to cost you the game.
You forget that because it goes a nervousness because of the back of the run that we've had. But now we stop that. And now we move forward and we try and kick on and get the positive results that we believe we deserve.
James Clark in the second half went down with what looked like a head injury. Is everything okay there?
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, Clark.
He's just mentioned James Clark is being fine.
He's fine. He's a warrior.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, asking Luke Lewis, who's actually a good mate of mine, who's in the media, so fair play to him, says, what is James Clark like? James Rowbury says, yeah, he's absolutely fine. So James Clark is perfectly fine for anyone. Obviously mentioning that, I know Chris mentioned it, so James Clark, nothing to do, no injury, sorry, following that sort of challenge that he had. So James Clark will be fine. Do hit the like button, guys. We are 2 likes away from 20 likes, which is absolutely incredible. My target was to hit 20 likes on the stream, so please make sure to do that if you haven't done so already. Take a few comments, and then we will open up the lines. I can't wait to get in here and say what I think. My opinions are close to yours, Mike. I think a lot of people's are. Tank, where do you get this guy from? Cardiff under 23's manager. Ryan. Couldn't think of your name then. Tom says Scott Bennett and Mariah Welsh both had 2 dodgy challenges today, which could have easily been reds. I remember the Bennett one. I can't remember the Mariah Welsh one that you'll refer. Find that out. Someone who tells me everything after the games. Right, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you do want to come on and have your say, like I said, Newport or Carlisle fan preferably. But if you are a non-Newport or Carlisle United fan and you want to come in and have your say, then please make sure to do so. I've got some sort of order of who I want to get in first. So if I don't get you in straight away and you are, in momentarily, then just, wait patiently in the chat. I will try and wait to get Chris on first. Obviously, he's a Carlisle United fan, get a, opposition fan, a completely different side of it. So if you are still in the chat, Chris, then do jump on. I know you wanted to come on and give your thoughts on the post-match reaction. I can see Luke there waiting very patiently as well. And if you are a non-Newport or non-Carlisle United fan, then you're more than welcome to come on as well. In terms of the poll that I put on at the start of the stream, the poll that I said was, does this result keep James Rowberry in this job? Currently 29 votes on that. 38% of you say that this result does keep him in a job. 62% of you are with me saying that this result doesn't keep him in a job. Nothing should change from this. And, we probably will be the manager on Saturday against Leyton Orient. Probably will be the manager against Rochdale. But, we'll have to see. Chris says, give me a second. So I'll just read this last couple of comments and then we'll get Chris in and then we'll get Luke in. And then if anyone else wants to drop in, we can. Like I said, we are, I can't remember, I think we're still 19th in the league, but I will double check. Results in League 2 today, if anyone is interested. It was Northampton 2, Stockport 1, Barrow 0, Leyton Orient 2, Bradford 2, Wimbledon 2, Colchester 0, Rochdale 1, Crewe Alexandra 1, Mansfield Town 2, Doncaster Rovers 4, Crawley Town 1, Grimsby Town 1, Swindon Town 0, Hartlepool United 0, Gillingham 0. Bloody hell, none of them can fucking score a goal for life either. Newport County 1, Carlisle United 1, Stevenage 1, Harrogate 0, Sutton United 1, Salford City 2, Walsall 0, Tranmere Rovers 1. And it does leave us 18th. So we've got up a place. Yes! Get in there. We are staying up, boys. We've got up one place and we didn't even win a game. Get in there. Rowberry in. Right, I'll read the last few comments and then I will get Chris in. Then I'll get Luke in and then we'll see where we are for time. Again, how can you enjoy being 1-0 up? You can only enjoy it if you win. Once you're 1-0 up, you need to refocus. Where's he gone? Refocus without getting too carried away by keeping it together without letting heads drop. Jesus. Here's your chance, Katie fans. Say what you think. That's what the banter's about. Bretton, he says, Roy Keane needs a job. You will kick your boys into touch and sort them out. To be honest, we'd have to bloody fucking remortgage our club to try and afford fucking Roy Keane. Right, we are going to get a Carlisle United fan in. Newport fans, he is nice, don't worry. He's not gonna banter us. Well, he probably will. But first of all, Chris Welch, Carlisle United fan. How are you doing, my friend, before we get into the talk of the game?
I'm better now it's full time.
Yeah.
Because I remember an hour before kickoff, after seeing the lineup, I was like, oh no. No, when there was no Patrick, I was like, I wasn't really confident at all.
Yeah. Right, I've tried to... Sorry, Katie fans. I've tried to hold out for a couple extra seconds, but we're going to have to talk about it. First of all, overall, what was your overall thoughts on that game then and that performance from both us and from yourself and Paul saying hello as well? So,
hello to the Arsenal fan. Hopefully he's a nice one. But yeah, first half, Newport were brilliant. We were poor. Newport deservedly got their lead, in my opinion, in the first half because they absolutely dominated us. Probably story of our season, really, that in some games in the first half, we just seemed to be not on it away from home, especially. Away from home, especially. Sloppy goal to concede from us, but brilliant goal for Newport. It's one of them where it is one of them. It is one of them where Paul Simpson was pretty honest after the match. He was holding no punches, saying absolutely rubbish.
I wish our manager would come out and say that. Our manager's telling us to enjoy going 1-0 up. I mean,
but that's why we love Paul Simpson. He's pretty honest after the match.
Yeah, talking of actually Paul Simpson, before we sort of delve into the game, I mean, there was two different managers on the touchline this afternoon. There was a manager on the touchline who potentially is walking the plank in terms of, his job security, and there's one that is completely and utterly changed the way Carlisle United play. But how do you see the style of play from Paul Simpson today? Because I think that he knew what we were going to try to do. And he made us sort of press you constantly in the first half. And he knew that if we do that in the first half, we'll tire. And then you can just exploit that in the second half. That's exactly what you've done. You waited for us to tire. And in the second half, you completely outrun us.
Yeah, I think that's part of his plan whenever we are away from home. Away from home, we obviously wait for the opposition, the home team, to tire. And then that's when we probably come alive in the second half, which we did, to be fair. But mate, I want to be playing well for the whole 90 minutes. Whole 90 minutes, and I think we have got injuries as well, so he couldn't really change the lineup that much. Obviously, the young lad up front, Jack Stretton, unknown from Derby, I thought, I don't want to be harsh on him because he's not known from Derby, but I thought he was crap and poor. Dennis was on his own. Well, there's a saying, Dennis the Menace. He certainly was Dennis the Menace today on his own. And that's why I wanted Hilton to start. I'm not saying that because he changed today in the second half. I've been saying that since the start of the season. He can be a threat to the opposition, but yeah, I think that is Simo's status. Well, we call him Simo. That's our nickname for him. That's Simo's style of play, which is win bats with three at the back. Hopefully, not looking too ahead of Tuesday, but hopefully he might have to change it on Tuesday to 4-3-3 with Amari Patrick out. But apparently he's going to be back on Tuesday, which is massive.
Yeah, I said in my match vlog and to Luke after the game, who was waiting backstage very patiently, because I know he wants to probably rip into the manager. But, the substitutions changed the game, and James Waite, it was a physical game. It was, tackles were flying in. It was high intensity. It was very hostile. It was a really sort of, timid game. It was everyone's going into each other and stuff like that. And you bring on James Waite, and it completely changes the way the game is. James Waite is a more technical player. He's more, flair play. He's very flimsy. Obviously, we say that the game changed when he came on, but you could arguably say the game changed when Sonny Hilton came on, because as soon as he came on, you just looked a whole lot different.
It was extra pace as well. No offence to the front two of us, but there's no pace at all. Dennis doesn't have pace, but he does press opposition, to be fair to him. And he's more of a goal scorer whenever he can find space. But Newport did well, keeping him quiet today.
Yeah. Carry on. Sorry, I didn't realise you were finishing your point.
Stretton, he's a loan signing for a reason. Unknown from Derby under 23s for a reason. And people rate Sonny Hilton more than Jack Stretton. And I said, YouTube fans have said that as well. Because Sonny Hilton, he's basically a dwarf, yeah. He's basically a dwarf and basically a midget, but he's got pace. He's got pace and that quality in attack.
Yeah. Was there any point in the second half that you thought we could cause you problems? Because the first half, I thought that you mentioned it yourself, and pretty much everyone mentioned it, that first half we completely and utterly dominated you. You didn't really have a sniff in the first half, but second half, don't know what changed, but it just looks like it's a bit like Space Jam. We just lost all football and ability. Did you see any threat at all in that second half?
Not really, to be honest with you. Maybe the last 10 or so minutes, like when it was end to end, like with that at the time added on as well for obviously James Clark with Caddy's old hair, by the way. When I was watching it on iPhone, he didn't move for 5 minutes, and I was like, fucking hell, is he stuck in the mud or something?
He literally just got straight back up and then run. I was like, what? He's a warrior, like Red Bruce said. But
then after 5 minutes, he's like, yeah, I'm fine.
it was. I think, yeah. I don't know what happened there.
But yeah, it was like,
go on.
It wasn't really chances in the last 10 minutes from Newport, but it's like could be a threat to us while we're defending Mickey Demetrio young forwards, certain young forwards, and not Paul Huntington. It was Paul Huntington with that strike, by the way, that hit the crossbar.
Oh, I thought it was Christian Dennis.
Yeah, Paul Huntington, the big old tall lump, you could call him, and he hits it like that, and I thought it was in, and he jumped out of my fucking skin. But
yeah, the penultimate question I'll ask you then is, sort of going on from that game, do you see any sort of progression from Newport? Because I think a large part of our fan base said that first half was the best half of football we've played all season. We were every single ball we were chasing, we were pressing you, we were getting 2 or 3 men around your players. Did you see some sort of progression, or did you see it was the sort of same as previous weeks?
First half, like I said, first half there was massive progress. Against a decent, a good Carlisle team.
Yeah.
As Carlisle fans will know from video, that's I used to have seen a good Carlisle team on like the pretty past seasons. But first half, Newport was superb, but second half might be a worry for Newport that they're just gone back to their old habits from previous games, and this, I don't know, it's like they were complacent at 1-0 at half time, thinking a bit of complacency in there, thinking, these one might actually not even that good, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm probably in a false position.
Yeah, final question is not actually anything related to the game, but it was Paul just asking, always ask this, Chris, how did you become a Carlisle fan? I obviously know the answer, but just for the sake of the question.
I was born in Carlisle.
Yeah. Born in Carlisle, made in the Royal Navy. Had to get that in.
That person who did that, who's in the army, actually lives in Carlisle as well.
Yeah. And I'll just get this comment in because obviously you're in Carlisle. Very good second half as we dropped off. To end it, do you think that was a good second half performance from Carlisle, or do you think we made you look better than what you were because of our drop off?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
I think Newport made us look. If Newport stuck to the same plan in the first half, then we might have been sat here. Newport 1, Carlisle 0 full time.
Yeah.
But I thought a door was coming. A door was coming forwards. I can see it. I saw us equalising at some point when Newport were chopping off. It was only a matter of time. Bit of a scruffy equaliser. I think it was a deflected finish by Ryan. When Ryan struck it, I think it was a little deflection. In there, but they all count. But I'm a bit. Paul Simpson's frustrated because he came into this game saying we should be winning this game with where both teams are in the table, but
yeah.
But we were 1-0 down. So if you're 1-0 down and you have to come back into it, you take the point. It probably feels more of a win for Carlisle for me, and it feels like defeat for Newport, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it could be a massive point for Carlisle now in the end, because looking at the league table, 4 points off the playoffs with the game in hand. The big game in hand on Tuesday, away at Grimsby was then.
Which they won. Grimsby. No, did they? No,
The dot beat on at home
Yeah.
to Swindon.
Yeah,
But I don't really care. Still done be a tough game away from home at
Yeah.
Grimsby. Still done be a tough game. And Mari Patrick back for that game. Hopefully we can finally win away from home. I said it to you.
Support your local, Paul.
Obviously, I said it to you in my maths preview that
Yeah.
hopefully we finally get a win away from home since March.
And you still haven't beaten us.
Yeah, and still haven't beaten you since 1988. Oh, by the way, the Newport commentators, oh my God, on AFI4, you're the trivial nonsense. Honestly, it's like Michael Owen was in commentary stating the obvious. Well done.
Yeah, we know that from the lockdown season. Right, thank you. A massive thank you for joining. I was going to get Luke straight away, but breaking news. It's not James Raby been sacked, but Omar Bogle has spoke to the media. So we're actually going to do a quick reaction to what Omar Bogle has said. Luke in. So this is actually going to be interesting because Bogle got taken off and he was fuming with James Rowbury, went right in his face and was arguing. So I'm actually really interested to see what Omar Bogle...
Don't do that to me, man.
But
you have my horse up in Southgate.
No, Safegate, you're the one. So massive thanks to joining in. Congratulations on the point, Chris, and I'm sure you're going to be listening to what Omar Bogle has to say.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see what he has to say.
Thanks for coming in and thanks for watching.
No worries.
Right, I know you're backstage, Luke, but I will get you in. I just didn't anticipate this Omar Bogle thing, so I'm going to put the Omar Bogle press conference on stream. Like I said, I just wasn't anticipating it. I didn't think they were going to speak to the media or the player was going to speak to the media, so I will get his thoughts or react to his thoughts on the stream and to see what Omar and hear what Omar Bogle has to say. Right, so let's get this on. Like I said, sorry about that, Luke, backstage, but I didn't think they spoke to players after the game, but you know, fools me. What did I know, eh? Right, Omar Bogle, county striker, reviews the 1-1 draw at home to Carlisle. It's going to be interesting to see what he says. Right, let's listen to this then.
Well, that's something to build on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, obviously the results haven't been great lately, have they? So, you know, it's good to obviously stop that little rut that we're in, and you know, hopefully we can build on this now.
There's been frustration in the camp that it's not quite got the results that you certainly feel you've deserved. I mean, how hard is that as a squad when you're not?
Yeah, it's difficult, you know, especially when you're doing a lot of good things and a lot of, you know, quite a few things that haven't fallen for us in the last few games. You know, it's difficult. You know, a few lapses in concentration and stuff like that. But, you know, there's been like a lot of positives in the games. But, you know, like you said, it's frustrating when, you know, you're doing a lot of right things, but the results aren't coming. So, you know, but we just have to keep doing that. We have to keep doing the right things, and then, you know, the luck will come and the results will come with it.
To be fair, I think Bogle has been decent this season. I think he's probably been our best player or one of them. So, you know, he's allowed an off day, isn't he?
Sort of a good mix in the squad of there's young lads. I guess you have to teach the young lads that when they have those moments. You've been there, done it.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you know, there's a good, like I said, a good blend of experience. Obviously, I can help the younger players. You know what I mean? And obviously, a few of the boys, their first loans as well, so it's the first time being out playing men's football. So, you know, we've got to help them and guide them. You know what I mean? But you know,
to be fair, I know we will go into the rest of what he says, but he didn't get much service today, Bogle. So he's the type of player that you need to play to him. So that does also go against it.
But it's taken to well. You know, they will listen and they'll take on board information, and you can see all the younger players improving every week.
You're confident you can start to climb that table and get to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when we look at the games that we played in, and some of the football that we've played at times. We know we're more than capable of competing at the top end. We just have to make sure we stay focused throughout the 90 minutes and in key moments. do the best that we can to make the right decisions.
That's what it's about, decision making. I'm sure Luke will probably echo that, and I'll continue to echo it all season. It's about making the right decisions at the right times. And I think at times today, there was just things that, like decisions that we just made were poor, especially in the second half. First half, I think most of our decision making was spot on. We got pretty much everything we wanted. Basically, the passes we wanted to make, the interchanges were good in the first half. And Omar basically, echoes what we're thinking and echoes what, the squad are thinking and the camp are thinking.
Next up, I know it's a week away, but against Orient, they're going well. Is that something that gets you excited, though? Sort of going up against a side that are really going great guns?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to every game.
As a player, you have got to be excited against top of the league. Got to be, because there's no point otherwise. Because your benchmark is Leyton Orient. They're the ones with the target on the back. They're the ones that everyone's chasing down. So you can't go there and be like, well, they're top of the league. So if we lose, it's like it's expected. You've got to go there believing you can win.
Every game, believing we can win. So.
But I'll tell you what, Bogle is absolutely just mind reading me. I said, go in there believing you can win, and listen to this.
We don't fear anyone, so we go into every game knowing that we play football, we can definitely get a result.
Where's it gone?
Going great guns.
Yeah, definitely. We go into every game believing we can win, so
Believing we
don't
can win,
fear anyone. So we go into every game knowing that we play football, we can definitely get a result we want. But they're doing well, so we know it's going to be a hard game. Go in there as well. We're going to be confident, but we have to just stick to our own game plan and do what we need to do to get the result.
Personally, you're on a mini drought after the way start this season.
Yeah. It's annoying, to be honest. After you probably can tell, I'm actually fuming. I'm fuming. But again, I have to look forward to the next game. That's what I have to keep doing.
I'll tell you what, I knew that was coming. Being subbed off today when we had a chance of scoring, I'm bloody fuming. Well, I'm fuming. I just knew he was going to make
it. I don't score just next game and hopefully get a chance to put it away.
Is that offside flag you? Probably in midweek.
That just sums everything up. That sums it all up, that does, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but just got to keep going. Got to keep going over the chances of coming out from away.
Not bad tally so far. Are you happy with how you've started?
So. Yeah. There's a one or two that definitely should have scored, one at Stevenage. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed.
Do you know what? I know people may slate him for this, but I love that. The striker coming out and said, not first of all, the question is asked, are you annoyed with the goal that you've not scored this season? And he said, yes. And he can narrow it down. He said, I should have scored one at Stevenage. He's as a striker, if you can think of the goals you should have scored, like, I should have scored at that game. I was unlucky to score there. That just shows that the striker is in the moment. It shows that he's concentrated, and it shows that he's, taking part, and it shows that he is sort of, I don't know, I'm trying to find the words, but it shows that he's engaged, that he knows, well, that game of Stevenage, I should have scored. Here, I should have scored. Very good answer, professional answer from Bogle. You can see the experience he has there.
Annoyed. That's obviously a few games. I haven't really had any real opportunities to say. But yeah, it's been okay. But obviously I'm always going to strive for more and I always want better. Always gonna strive for more, and I always want better. I love him already. He's such a professional.
Back in South Wales after a few years away, happy to be back.
Yeah, I'm very happy. That I'm happy with. Yeah, I love it. I love it down here. I enjoy my time down here. Before.
Look, he used to play for Cardiff. Everyone makes mistakes in life.
And I'm enjoying it now. It's a nice place, and I'm missing stuff like it. So all good.
Have you set yourself a goal target for the season?
Right, I want to see what he says. Have you set a goal target this season? I want him to. Please say a certain amount of goals. I beg you.
Yeah. But yeah, somewhat. But I've got to keep it close, man. I've got to keep it in here.
Still work to do.
Yeah, still work to do. Loads of work.
Oh, you bloody shit house! You absolute shit house! He's basically said, "Yeah, I have set a goal target, but I'm keeping it here, and there's still a lot to do." I reckon he's set himself 15, 20. Yeah. he has definitely set himself a target of the amount of goals to hit, and that's just class. That is just class, to be fair to him. He knows he's set himself a target, and he's just sort of hinting that he hasn't. But let's be honest, he's definitely sat down and figured out how many he wants to score this season. Right, I can finally get Luke in a second. I'll read these comments and then I can get him in. Just wasn't expecting that interview, and to be fair, he should be the manager because that was a fucking better interview than our manager. Omar Bogle talking like there is like me, can't be asked helping customers finding where things are at work. He doesn't look like he wants to be interviewed. Good man. Very honest interview, sounds a passionate individual. As a fucking spider running across my fucking floor. Bloody hell. You can tell I'm live. Top interview. Even though Bogle body language is like he doesn't want to be there, doesn't want to be interviewed, what he's saying is what you want to hear. Yes, agreed. Where's their passion? Where there's passion, there's success. Finally, we can get Luke Johnson in. He's probably been thinking, are you going to get me fucking in, mate? But Luke, big up to yourself, and thanks for tuning in for another post-match show. How are you feeling?
Mate, it's really hard to judge what to say after hearing the two different press conferences from our manager, who knows he's under pressure, and our striker, who he knows when he should have scored. I think that shows the difference in mentality between a striker and a manager. Yeah,
like I said, the fact that he can come out and say, I should have scored one at Stevenage, I was unlucky to score one in midweek due to the offside flag, it just shows that he's engaged and he just knows. You know, he seems very, like, in the interview, he didn't look like he wanted to be there, but the answers that he's saying are everything these fans want to hear.
Yeah.
Luke is already living in 2023 after waiting that long. Well, I didn't expect Bogle to come out with the interview. Anyway, back to the interviews then. We will touch on Bogle's first because I think we need to give more time for James Rowberry's interview. But, you know, a few things that he said really promising that, you know, the goal tally, I've set myself a goal tally. So, you know, already he's got a goal to work towards. You know, is that a good sign of a striker or, you know, would you sort of side to just score goals and just play like, because if you set yourself a target and you don't reach that, you know, does he start to become frustrated or you know, what do you think regarding that?
Yeah, I think if you set yourself a certain amount and you don't reach that amount, that's obviously gonna really sort of like make you feel annoyed that you don't get that target. Yeah. I think you should just go about his business like an average, not average. I'm about to say average end, like like a normal striker does. You know, strikers don't really set themselves targets. They just take it game by game, and when the chances come, they score. And I think it's really honest of Bogle to admit when he should be scoring, because I don't think many strikers would actually come out and say that.
Yeah. Last thing I want to touch on from him, you know, the first thing that he said was, you know, you got taken off when maybe you could have, you know, impacted the game in the final 3 minutes. And he said, I'm fuming. Is that a quality and a trait you want to see in a striker? He's outraged that he's gone off. He just wants to be on that pitch.
Yeah. It shows that he wants to be playing and scoring. And I think seeing Zimba come on and then giving the ball away straight away, if I was on the bench and I'm Bogle, I would be absolutely raging at that.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, it just shows that. To be fair, I'll give Chris his dues. You know, when we signed him, he said this is going to be signing of the summer. I looked at Bogle's, you know, previous clubs. They said he gets lazy after a while. He loses interest, and I think he's found a settled home here. You know, he played for Cardiff, so he knows the Welsh culture. You know, he's been, you know, had a couple of years at Cardiff, so he knows about Wales. So maybe, you know, the expectation at Cardiff in the Championship was too high, but obviously still staying in Wales at a League Two club is probably the perfect sort of mix for him. But in terms of the manager then, you know, a few things to point out, saying that the first one, I mean, let's just get the elephant out of the room. You've got to enjoy being 1-0 up. What's your thoughts on that?
That just shows that he's holding on to his job. To celebrate being 1-0 up is just a poor thing to say. Even if you're thinking it, I wouldn't want to say it as a manager. I think he's sort of forgetting the fact that you're celebrating being 1-0 up and then celebrating a draw, which feels like a loss. But saying that we got a point from it, Robry said it as if he's just going to forget about the 3 losses we just had leading up to this point today.
Yeah. Another thing he said was, we will actually talk about the game, but I think those interviews were so. I think I'm even going to do a tweet about that, because those interviews were just so different when they from the manager, who's meant to be the one that the whole mentality boost. And that striker, some of the things he was coming out with, bloody. I barely stopped it because I was just sitting back and relaxing, listening to the interview. James Rowberry says, or the interviewer said to James Rowberry, 2 substitutions in the 90th minute. You told me in pre-season you were going to utilise all 5 subs available. You've not used all 5 subs in a single game this season. That just shows hypocrite from James Rowberry to come out in pre-season, say he's going to utilise the use of the 5 subs. He brought 1 on in the 70th minute and brought 2 on in added time. He's starting to come back on his own words now, and that's a sign of a manager starting to lose his job.
Yeah, he says that he wants the 5 subs, but then he brings on the wrong players at the wrong time. James Waite, as you've already said earlier, a physical game. He's going up against midfielders who are pretty much 3 times the height of him. And even when he jumps up to try and win the headers, if you've got the striker here, he jumps away from him, leaving a little gap in between.
Yeah, and that gives the striker the like that gap. It could be minimal, but that gap for a striker is something to be concerned of, because any prolific striker in this league, we saw Christian Dennis do it today. We've seen Josh Gordon do it. In the Barrow game, we saw Ryan Taylor, as much as he was awful at us, do it. We've had strikers do it this season. You give them half a yard and they will punish you. Tom makes a very good point as well. He said we've got the quality on the bench as well, so there are no excuses. Aaron Wildig, Robbie Wilmot, Shanka Zimba, James Waite. There's players on the bench that if you give them the opportunity, they will probably flourish, because we saw it with, well, not really Zimba, because he had 3 minutes, but Zimba on Tuesday night was, when you give him a chance and give him game time, which I've definitely sort of been on Rowberry's back for not giving his signings chances, they probably will flourish, but it is what it is. Sean says, do you want Flynn back? Absolutely not. I don't want... you never go back to it. You never go back to an ex-manager. That's definitely something that I've learned anyway. So, 100% no. Look, what he done, fantastic. What he's doing at Walsall, not at the moment, but he's building something, and just let him do his thing. Let him be Walsall manager. Just let's not go back. Being 1-0 up isn't that bad, really. We've had years of it. Very true. In terms of the game, then, first half, I've got to admit, you said it to me in the game as well. This is probably the best half we've played all season. It was scintillating, winning the ball, passing the ball, crunching tackles. I didn't really see a moment in the first half where we took 5 bloody touches before we passed the ball. It was very one-touch passing. That's what we want to see going forward for 90 minutes. But just talk to me for that first half. Let's enjoy the first half for once.
First half, I think the first maybe 10, 15 minutes, both teams were trying to suss out how we were both going to play. But when you're playing against a team who is, if you think about it, it's like a relegation sort of 6-pointer in it, really. But I think we definitely deserved the 1-0 lead at halftime. Maybe could have been more, But even though it was a good first half, which I think every Newport fan can agree it was the best half of football we've probably played this season,
Yeah.
or maybe even going back towards the back end of last season. But there was still the little, just a small individual mistakes. I don't want to like single out any players, but I think when the second half happened, it was a classic tale of a classic tale of two halves of a game.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you look at that first half and like it was just scintillating. Like I said, going forward, it looked amazing. You know, Will Evans was driving at players. You had Bogle, you know, pressing the line. You had Thierry Neves on the left. You had the midfielders pushing onto, you know, their midfield. And you looked at that and you thought, right, this is it. Kick on. Something happened at half time. And then second half, it was nothing like the first half, was it? It was just completely polar opposite to the first half.
Yeah, second half, just it was basically the whole Newport County we've seen this season. Too many mistakes. Why our defenders were dropping off so much, I don't understand it. When our defenders were higher up the pitch, it was a lot easier for us to stop the long balls over the top.
Yeah, I said that in the first half. Our centre backs were not on the halfway line, but 5-10 yards from the halfway line, high up the pitch, high line. And when I don't know what happened, I don't know if Raybury said it, I don't know if Carl Serrant said it, but they just completely dropped like 5-10 yards backwards. And you know, the centre backs, Dimitri and Clark, were pretty much holding hands with Nick Townsend. They were that far back.
Yeah, that's not really what you want to see for your centre backs. Our centre backs overall in the game, they were both really good, the pair of them together. But when you had the wingers, you know, starting to drift in inside the pitch, our wing backs were sort of holding off. They were running away from the players, which doesn't really help our centre backs.
Yeah. A couple of people have asked this the same question. Sean says it here. Has James lost the dressing room? Huddersfield Town fan TV. Ryan says, has the dressing room lost respect for James? Now, look, it's all right coming out in interviews. Raybury said it. Bogle said it. They've both said that there's a sense of connection with the squad, and the squad seem, you know, all willing to you know, achieve the same goal. Do you think he's lost the dressing room to a sense? I wouldn't say he's lost the dressing room, because if he's lost the dressing room, Bogle wouldn't be coming out and saying that you know, they are starting to unite and hopefully trying to climb the table, like Connor said. But do you think that they're starting to see the frailties to his tactics?
I think it's half and half with the respect for the managers. I think the players got to remember the difference between the respect for the fans who turn up every week and then the respect for the manager.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, fans will never go away. Players will come and go. Like, we've seen, like I said to you earlier, we've seen so many good players leave. Josh Sheehan, Dan Butler, you know, Liam Shepherd, Tom King. We've seen these good players leave. Regan Poole. But though the fans that were there with Regan Poole playing will be the same fans that will be there in 2 seasons' time. You know, the fan base will not change, but the players will. And I just feel as though, you know, you're looking at it and thinking you've got to, like he said in his interview, we want to give the fans something to cheer. Sometimes it's not about the nice football, because I think we can all sort of, you know, say that throughout the season we've played some really nice football, playing it into the final third. But sometimes we just want to see a shithouse 1-0 win. We just want to see goals and, you know, points, because, you know, that today just reminded me of, I don't know. Alan is in the chat. He says Newport I shit every National League team while we get promoted. Look, we've got to mention it. Wrexham are on absolute fire. We know why, because they're money orientated. But
yeah,
if we go down and they go up, that would be the worst feel. I think I'd have to cancel this bloody channel, because I wouldn't be able to do National League content whilst they're in football in League Two. Going forward, then, Leighton Orient on Saturday. I said that if they don't sack him before the Leighton Orient game, it's criminal to sack him after it. I'll give my reasoning before it, and you can you can make your own judgment. But I said if you sack him, say he gets the Leighton Orient job, he gets the Leighton Orient game. Sorry, if we get battered by Leighton Orient, which let's be honest is expected, it might not happen, but it's expected. If we do get battered by them, do you think that's throwing the manager out to dry or hanging him out to dry for sacking him after that? Because it's like the board is saying to Raybury, right, you've been in bad form, you've lost a lot of games, you've been poor in games in your management, go and beat Leighton Orient. Do you think that's a bit like, for me, if he gets the Leighton Orient game, he has to get the Rochdale game after it?
Yeah, I think it would be harsh if they gave him the Leighton Orient game. If I was the Newport board, I would sack him now, today. Personally, for me.
Oh, don't worry. I keep refreshing. I keep refreshing Twitter. So if you do see me, if you do see me, just quickly go off the stream. We've sacked him, but no, carry on.
Nah, it's the same for me. For me, he has to be sacked today, now, which is, let's be honest, it's what I want. I'm Rowbury out all the way now. He has to go, but they can't give him the Leighton Orient job. What am I saying now?
Exact same as me then. Yeah, can't give the Leighton Orient job.
I think if they did give him the Leighton Orient game and we got battered, they have to at least give him Swindon, because we have Swindon in between, don't we?
Oh, and we have the rearranged game. Yeah, we have Swindon, then Rochdale. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I would at least give him to Rochdale, let him have one more go in front of the home fans, which...
Yeah, because like I said, it's harsh. If you give him, let me know in the chat, guys, as well, what your opinion on this, because some people may say if he loses to Leighton Orient, sack him, but I just don't think you can do that, because you're basically saying to him, go to top of the league, go and beat them, otherwise you're sacked. And I mean, it's just, I know, I do understand that football is a results business, but I just really, I shouldn't feel sorry for him because he's done a crap job, but I just feel as though you're basically just asking him to do the inevitable, you're asking him to do the impossible. Sorry, he's not going to go there and beat Leighton Orient, 9 times out of 10. So if he was to have that game and then sack him, I would just personally be a bit, I think that would make me feel a little bit sick with, the current status, but. So would you sack him now, or would you give him Leighton Orient just to? You would sack him before Orient.
I would have sacked him soon as the final whistle went. 100%. They can't just expect him to go to Leighton Orient, who haven't lost a game yet. 9 wins out of 10. I think this is only the second time this season we scored first in the matches. Yeah. I wouldn't give him Leighton Orient. I would get rid of him now and try and bring someone else in before next weekend.
As we left the ground, there were murmurs of a few managers that were in attendance. Paul Trollope was in attendance. Obviously, former Cardiff City manager. I don't know about that one, because obviously what Trollope done at Cardiff. You've got managers that could come in. David Artell is someone I really like and someone I really appreciate. The problem is, if we wait longer, these good managers are going to go, and then we're going to be either stuck with him or someone just as bad.
I think if the inevitable happens, Rowbury gets sacked today, whoever they bring in is going to have to give these players a good kick up the arse to get them playing. We have good players. Some of our players show today that they can play. For me, Nathan was brilliant in midfield for me today. But I think if we have another manager, they could possibly get a little bit more better out of Nathan. He's good going forward, but sometimes he's just a little bit too slow on the ball. He loses it, and then all of our defenders are just caught in no man's land, which is what we don't want from our midfielder, who is obviously still young, and it is his first loan. But those mistakes shouldn't be happening.
About Mariah Welsh in the player ratings, I was actually harsh because, when you have a loan player, you've probably got to be harsh on them to allow them to develop. Because I remember Ben White said that, the best bit of advice he had was by Mike Flynn when he was at Newport. And yeah, whatever you think of Ben White, that can be for another day. But, Ben White said that Mike Flynn said to him at Newport, you're starting to, really be sloppy on the ball and you're going to be dropped if you do that. After that game, Ben White was unbelievable, got to the playoff final, obviously lost. But sometimes these loan players need a reality check. Most 90% of the players they'll come against in League Two have been in the league before, used to playing in League Two. It's a tough league. Do you think Nathan Mariah Welsh just needs, because at the moment, I think all I'm seeing is praise for Mariah Welsh, which I warrant because I think he's a fantastic player. Do you think sometimes he just needs a little sort of reality check and look, Nathan, you're doing this wrong? Because apart from the goal, didn't really think he offered that much going forward.
I think that when you have a young player like Nathan, and obviously a lot of our players in midfield today are all loans and they're all young. Hayden and
Mariah Welsh.
Yeah, I think Nevers, he's good on the ball. I say this every week. He's good on the ball, but he doesn't shoot. It's like he's scared to try and get shots on goal. When he was before he came out on loan, he was scoring goals for fun. I don't know what's changed, or maybe he's playing a different play style here. I don't know.
Do you think it's obviously, under 23s football is much more relaxed and it's much more sort of just enjoy your football sort of thing? There's not, I know obviously they have a league table, but it's not really a massive deal. You step into League Two and every single game matters, whether you're bottom of League Two, top of League Two. And do you think it's just taking him a while to sort of adapt to that? I think he'll come good towards the back end of the season. I just think, he has at least scored. You can't say he's not scored a goal for us yet. He has scored at least, which obviously going to breed a lot of confidence. But that's what I think anyway. That he's just taken a while to sort of settle in. Penultimate question I will ask you, and then I'll ask you about your man of the match before we let you go. Do you think that the reason why it's going wrong is the manager has a different style of play to what these players are good at? We've seen for 3-4 years that these players, or the majority of the Newport squad, play a 3-5-2 with the wing backs overlapping, 3 in midfield, and the 2 strikers we've seen, Jamil Matt up there, Frank Newblay, Amon, Telford, Baker Richardson. They're so used to the 3-5-2 or the 3-4, 3-5, the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2. And Ragbury wants to play this 4-3-3 attacking football. Do you think the players are just maybe not able to play his tactic?
I think a 3-5-2 suits Newport with our wing backs going in. But I think a 4-3-3 going forward could maybe benefit if he's using the right players. If you're going to play 3 up front, have our main striker, or even Nevers. I don't think Nevers is good on the wing. I think Nevers is better when he's in midfield because he can carry the ball.
Yeah.
And if it's going to play 3 up front, then you'd have to play Nevers, Bogle, and probably Robbie Wilmot, because Wilmot's quick. Probably very few players who can actually catch up with the speed of Bogle and Nevers. Bogle's not the quickest, but when he gets going, he's pretty hard to bring down. Yeah,
100%. I wouldn't say that his sprint speed is good. I don't think he's very quick in that, but his acceleration is that quick burst pace is electric. You saw it with the chance they had when he tried to dink Thomas Holy. Fair play, Chris. Thomas Holy's a fantastic goalkeeper. I know you're still in the chat. He was outrageous today. Absolutely outrageous, Thomas Holy. If I was doing player ratings for Carlisle, he would be close to man of the match. He was superb in the Carlisle goal. But in terms of man of the match, that is my final question. who do you give man of the match to today? I personally, I think I went with Mickey Demetriou. I think he was just 100%, giving it everything at the back, was, driving forward at times. I said Mickey for me, but...
For me, I think I might get a little bit of hate from other Newport fans for this, but I actually agree with the Newport County man of the match. I thought that Lewis at left back, I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah.
He did make the odd mistake, but I think every player made the odd mistake today. It'd be harsh just to single out one. But Lewis, he's quick and he's really aggressive going into tackles, which is what you want. And I thought he just stood out in defence. There are other players up there who did obviously stand out. But for me, Adam Lewis rightly deserved man of the match. But then everyone has different opinions, don't they?
Yeah.
But I think he was just brilliant. And again, he is still just a young, lone player who maybe could need more time and he could improve his performances.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on for another one. We'll get you on next week against Leyton Orient. Probably will be the day after that one. But before we let you go, the quick prediction for the Leyton Orient game, because I don't know, I'm probably going to be busy throughout the week, so I might not be able to do a preview. So quick prediction from Luke with Leyton Orient. I'm not confident whatsoever.
I think every game you have to try and be positive, don't you? And
Yeah.
I know it's hard to be positive the way that we're playing, and our manager, who in my opinion, is useless. He gotta go. But I can just see Leyton Orient getting battered. That I agree with that comment from Tom there.
Yeah,
Way better.
I agree, Tom. I said when the lineup came out, I said, yes, Townsend has been decent, but Joe Day on Tuesday night, I know it's the Papa John's Trophy, but it's still a game of football and, unbelievable saves. The save from, I think it was Ben Stevens, somebody tipped it around the post and unbelievable. I think he's a quality goalkeeper, Joe Day, and I think he's been treated a bit harshly by James Rowbury. He does seem to play his favourites, as we know, but what was you saying, sorry? Prediction.
Every game you gotta be positive, but if it's not 3-0 Leyton Orient, then County might shit out a 1-0 win somehow. But
crazy. You said
the same as me. Yeah. 3-0 Leyton Orient or shit house 1-0 win.
Yeah, well, I think the 3-0 is more likely, but thanks for coming on for another post-match reaction. Trust me, I will guarantee you, Luke, there will be one of these where we win a game. I guarantee it. Thanks for joining on, and I'll see you very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, we cut him off there. What did you say? Sorry.
I was just saying, thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I just cut him off mid-speak.
All right.
For coming on, and I'll speak to you soon.
No worries.
Yeah, so look, thoughts from Newport fan, thoughts from Carlisle fan. Overall, am I annoyed? A bit. Do I think we deserve more? Probably not. I think that was a fair result. With all things considered, listening to different points of it, that was a fair result. And like I said to Luke, we will eventually do a post-match show where we win a game of football. I will give you my quick prediction for Saturday. I'm going to go 4-1 Leyton Orient. I think they'll absolutely batter us. But thanks for watching, guys. Please make sure to hit that like button. Currently on 22 likes hang on. I will quickly answer Chris's question. He said, how were Carlisle fans today, Mike? I only heard Newport fans when I was watching on iFollow. You took 188 fans, and I will applaud those 188, just under 100. Noise they made was very limited, but there was, in the first half, there was nothing for them to cheer about. I will say this to you, Chris. Excellent support from your fans today in terms of the numbers that they brought. Excellent. So I can say nothing but good from the number that you brought. Atmosphere, you know, it was. Look, they weren't that loud, but you'll see my my opinions on their fans, on your fans. Sorry, when I do that video at the end of the season, because that video done really good in terms of views. I think it had nearly like 600 views, where I ranked the League Two fans at Rodney Parade. So I'll be doing that again next season or this season at the end of the season. Great atmosphere and great atmosphere in the Compete stand today, though. Paul is getting the claps in, and second half not so great. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Newport County 1, Carlisle United 1 in the League 2 game at Rodney Parade. Positives to take. First half, very good. Second half, dropped off. But, you know, things like this happen. We've got to make sure we stay switched on for the entirety of games rather than for just the first half. But like I said, massive thank you to everyone who has tuned in this evening. Like, share, and subscribe. I will be going to Wales versus Poland tomorrow, so there will be a match day vlog for that. So please make sure to look forward to that. Thanks for watching. We will always be here, win, lose, or draw. We will always back the boys. And thanks for watching. Quick reminder of the poll: 40 votes. 43% say this keeps Rowbury in a job. 57% says it doesn't keep him in a job. I'll be bringing you breaking news. The moment James Rowbury does get sacked eventually, we will go live for it. Thanks for watching. Up the county!